Hello Internet, very welcome to my live stream. I'm going to make this a short intro because I have to actually get things done. I hope everything is working. Seems like the microphone is working, seems like the stream is working. So let's just get immediately to it. Where were we? So, just getting everything ready. There you go. And I'm going to switch the screen. We're in Photoshop. There you go. And today I'm going to continue on those backgrounds here we make for this book. It's not a... It's like a image book. How do you say that in English? I don't really know. But it's kind of a picture book for children, but not only for children, because the background, I show you what I mean. These are not edited yet, but it's kind of something like that. And I'm going to make the backgrounds or some more backgrounds for these in the first place, and then I'm going to maybe continue on something else. But that's what I'm doing right now, just getting some backgrounds. And yeah, let's get right to it. I already made some of those. They are really big, so takes a while to load. This is one that's more colorful. I'm just gonna randomly pick like 3-4 of them, just open them, because I can kind of recycle those elements. I am waiting for a package to arrive, and I'm hoping not to miss it because I don't want to go to the post office because I'm lazy. So I hope the streaming quality is alright. I see that there is a drop of frames, but I guess it's because my CPU is just busy with opening files. I might just close some of those things here I don't need. Maybe this will help. I didn't have such a drop in frames last time. Now it seems about right again. Well, yeah, probably was because I opened so many big files. So, what do we have here? So the last one I did was kind of very white, very bluish white, in contrast to the other one. So I'm going to try to keep it darker this time. So I'm actually going to these things, it just looks so easy, and it is kind of easy, but you have to wrap your head around how to start and just the beginning, just to get a feeling of what you actually want to do. So first step, I already made a copy, so this is a safe place to work here, or change things. That's one very important thing. Just as a tip, don't start working on a new file without making it a new file, because there comes the point where you probably can't go back anymore, and that's really frustrating. So we don't want that. Safety first. This is probably quite boring right now for you. I will have to expand these layers. I actually... Well, no. I thought I made a workspace, but didn't seem to work. Huh? So, what I want to do is panel options and make those little images a little bit bigger, because I can't see anything like that. Okay, so I don't know how familiar you are with Photoshop. I'm going to scale down this a little bit so you see it a little bit better. Something like this. Yeah. And yeah, that's the situation we've got. This is these are kind of the image layers, and these are correction layers, or I always forget the English word. But it's curves and just changing the colors just to get them kind of into one monochrome image, if you want. Well, it's not monochrome, but you know what I mean. It just blends into another. There are some things I'm going to take out because we want to make a new image, so make space for new things. I'm actually going to put this mask away. We will return to making a new mask for it. So at the first glance, I'm just trying to recycle the things I already have on here. I to find those blue guys up there. This one is one to get rid of. So do you see here, this is actually a red image, and I just changed the colors so it gets the bluish tone to it. Adjustments, I need my adjustments. Where are your properties? Here you are. I need those. This is probably not as fun for you to watch, just setting up my tools I need. So, here we are. I'm actually going to delete this one. We can still add a new one there. And I'm actually going to close one of those because my frames really don't look good. I hope I can increase my frame rate a little bit. Sorry for that. I have no idea how that sounds on the stream, or looks like on the stream. But since this is a pretty easy thing, it's not like very complex. I think you get the idea. Also with some frame drops, it's not like an action game stream where you need to see every millisecond. I really made huge adjustments on this layer, on these colors here. just going to make this, put it somewhere else. This one we already had. And those ones where I think they're not really doing much, I'm just going to delete those. Because we have some more of these colored splashes or dirt or however you want to call it. But for now I'm just going to rearrange those, and later on I'm going to put some new ones in. New ones, not nuance. I'm going to get rid of this one because I feel like I have this one in every single one of those. This is the first time I'm streaming with headphones on, because it seems so strange to just talk into nothingness. So just checking out if everything is working. Seems to work. Yeah, never mind. Just get things done here. I'm just trying to not comment things too much. So, getting rid of those things here. Just I'm just doing some things here I have in memory because I did a few of them already, of those backgrounds, and I just want to make sure that we have different images on every one of those, because it has to be very individual. So yeah, this one is fine. What I'm going to do now is actually, I have some more there. I am going to select all of them and just turn them in any direction. I'm going to get rid of that, because this way we guarantee that everything is on another place. So yeah, I don't know what you do for a living, but the good thing in my job is that there are some points where cheating is definitely allowed. I'm just trying to keep track if everything is working. Don't want to miss any messages or anything, if there are any messages. But everything is fine. So it sometimes takes like a moment to just get into the flow. Have to find out where this one is. That's one thing I really don't like about Photoshop, when something is beyond the the box here, you just can't select it, you just can't find it. I would just love to just select it and see the selection going over the border, you know, just to know where my elements are. That would be awesome. But that's not the case, so we'll just continue with what we know. So I'm just going to change this one a little bit like this, just add a little dirt down there. I don't know if, yeah, I'm going to place this somewhere here. Now what is this one? This has kind of a special color to it. I actually like this color. I am pulling up those bright spots because it's multiplying the image, and everything that's beyond white will just merge down. So this really helps us with blending those things. Now I think I feel because I don't want them to be too colorful at points, because they obviously, there's a lot going on anyway. So what we want to do is just take the color down. Where are my corrections? Huh. Adjustments, there they are. Oh. So I'm used to see this gallery here, or a library of adjustments. Just didn't think about how the little icon looked like. So, color correction. There are many ways we can do a color correction, but I'm going to make it the simple way. I'm just going to shift here. I want this to be kind of, yeah, reddish, but not too much, you know. Like more of brownish, orangey, something like that. Here you go. I'm going to mask this edge. First, very simply. And then I've got some brushes. Just checking my frame rate. Is it better? It's not perfect, no. Now it looks good. Just let me know if it's terrible, or my experiences with live streaming aren't that huge, so I'm just trying to get used to this. Find my own groove, if you will. So I'm actually going to save this preset, new workspace. How do I call this? Just use German because I have my file names in. Well, I actually always change switch between English and German, but I know that this project is kind of, I don't know, I have to do with Swiss people in this project, so kind of makes sense. Keyboard shortcuts, menus, toolbar, save. So hopefully this one is going to stay there. Yeah. So brushes, I have some nice brushes here. Just going to scale them up so it makes some sense. Now obviously we don't see much of this boundaries here, but that's fine. That's actually perfect, because what we want is them to blend in. So I'm just only going to use those brushes on those edges, so we don't have any of those hard edges. Yeah. A little bigger. This is another thing I still remember from going to school. Like, I don't know how they calculate this, but somewhere here it's like pretty tiny, pretty small. And you go a little bit up here, and here it's just exponentially growing ridiculously fast. So it's really hard to just get this slider right. I would love to just go on here, scroll, and just have kind of a control of my tuning. I don't know. But as we know, we can always do this. So it's also part of my laziness. So this guy is really, really big. So either I am going to use this as background. I don't know why, but this time in this stream my computer is struggling a little bit more. I'm going to check out what that is about. For now I'm just going to keep on working. So I'm actually putting this down here. And one other thing I want to say here is, in this left window, which is marked with those guides, I don't know if you can see them, those guides there. I guess you can see them. And inside of this there's the text, that's the position of the text, more or less. And on this side the illustration will be, for the most part. Could be that we will change things up, because it should be individual. It should be so kind of an experience to go through those pages. So now I'm slowly getting into the routine. I feel like I'm not as boring and slow I was at the beginning. So here, same situation or similar situation we had over there. I don't want, in this one, I don't want any bluish colors, so hue saturation. This is really just the simplest way to make this. When I add this, I don't have any controls, or I just manipulate the whole image, and that's not what I want. What I really want is just affecting the layer beneath. So I'm going to select this, and where is it? Create clipping mask. And you see this indicator, this little arrow, which tells you that this one is only affecting this layer. And same with all of those other ones that look the same. Yeah. And this is really, really awesome, because you can make quick adjustments just like this. Now I'm not really happy with this one, because you know what that is? That's my package. I'm back soon. Wait a sec. So I'm back actually. My package came. So why not make this natural and just turn it into an unpacking video? No, why not? Because this is a really cool thing I bought. I just have to get my head around this packaging here. Disgusting. I don't know what they did with that, but yeah. It's kind of wet outside. Probably left it on the floor. Now this is what I got. I got a gimbal for my camera, and I am going to shoot. In the first place, I want to shoot a video for the hotel, image film for the hotel my family owns in the Swiss Alps, Hotel Regina Term. And yeah, that is what I bought this for, because it's really not easy to hold your DSLR camera and be still for good. Now, I mean, it's kind of nice to look in it and so, but what is this doing here? It's just decoration. It's just lying on there. I just don't get it. So yeah. Okay. Now this feels really, really good packed. So much material, so much plastic, so much things ruining. But I don't really know, because you know, nowadays you really don't know if something is ecological or not, but it doesn't really look biodegradable or anything. So, what is this? Please don't be a CD, because I don't even have a CD slot. That's how I work. I saw a review on this, and I mean, I don't find it that bad, but he really talked about how small this instructions is written, and it is small. I mean, just looking a little bit closer, I'm more pleased to have a small guide than a huge thing. So yeah, I want to look at this right now. First I thought, should I stop with the streaming, but you know, it doesn't make really sense. Now, there are quite a few things in here. Looks crazy, right? So this is a pretty, I'd say, cheap or low budget gimbal for my camera, and there are obviously some trades-off, but like for example these batteries, but they are rechargeable, so you technically have everything you need. It's just that you have to take those batteries out into this thing and recharge them like that instead of just directly charging them. But the good thing is you can change them, so yeah, they're interchangeable, and that is actually a good thing. And now I take this out here. So We'll have to do some testing today, but it feels really nice. It has like a nice quality touch to it. It feels really robust. And you have these kind of stand here. So yeah, kind of makes sense there. Yeah, and all those little parts. This is for clipping in the camera. Well, yeah, I am going to have a closer look this evening. Cables, all sorts of cables, which I'm very pleased to see. So yeah. I'm just going to assemble this very quick and then I'm going to continue with my work. But you know, they say you should be natural and to just be yourself, so that's what I'm trying to do here. So I'm assuming that those batteries are there are quite a lot of things to look at here. I think I have to take this off so I can slide this off. No, that's not how it works. So back to the quick guide. Where are the batteries? That's my question. Now I found it. Up here. Battery 1 and 2. This is really cold because it's cold outside, and yeah. Turn it on. It's on. I know. Access locked. Wait. So, and now, is there still an access locked? Seems like everything is moving. I think that's normal. I think. No, it doesn't seem normal at all. I am going to do this in the afternoon. Another fun sorry. Hopefully it's worth it, but I'm pretty sure it will. Because I wouldn't have bought it if not. This is the kind of things you buy once and you hopefully have for some years. And I say like, working professionally in this field just makes sense to have freedom of creativity, and for that you need hardware. That's just the reality of things. So, back to work. Sorry for that interruption, but I'm happy that my package came. So we were here with the blue thingy here, and what I wanted to say here before is with this hue saturation correction adjustment layers. Now I remember. You only really shift the colors. You can put colorize it, then it changes all the colors to that color you want. So that's what we would need right here. But there are still other options like selective, how do you say that thing? Selective color, yeah. And here you can just manually really control like how the colors should change. Like for instance here the reds, we're currently here in the reds, and I just took the bluish, the cyan down just to get rid of it, kind of, yeah. And that's like a more advanced way to change the colors, but here we really want something like less colorful and more wait, that's the wrong one. Less colorful and more monotone, kind of. Feel free to correct me, because sometimes I probably say things that sound a little bit strange. Because I'm not bad at English, but it's also not... No, I'm in Switzerland, I lost a lot of it. But I think I'm not doing too bad. So, now made those adjustments, now we have this rough edge here, so we want to get rid of that. You see those nice edges these brushes give me, but actually I want like a little bit more distortion, kind of. Huh. I thought I actually had kind of more. So this is not working how I want it to work right now. And again my frames dropped. So maybe this is not the best project to work on while live streaming, because these files are so huge. But you know, we'd never know if we never try. I kind of feel like Photoshop made quite a few, or Adobe makes quite a few updates lately, and sometimes I feel like my things aren't set how I set them once. Because I feel like I had more brushes installed. Well, I feel like I know I have. I'm so sorry, this is kind of another boring live stream here. But you know, you can't always be super efficient. One step at a time. And to be honest, it's still like a new thing to me, streaming myself. It does take some resources in my head, in my brain, to kind of work and be productive at the same time. Even though I don't like that fact, but it's just how things are. You just can't concentrate the same way. And if you feel that you can absolutely do that, tell me what your secret is. Because for me it's not that easy. But I have to say I'm also really hardcore on myself sometimes. Just want to do it the right way. And obviously I just like to be efficient, that's all. So that's why I have those thoughts. So here again I have these different colors, but I feel like this yellowish reddish actually suits well into this concept. It's just the blues and greens I didn't really like, so I'm going to try to make this a little bit softer through those corrections here. And actually I'm going to take this one a little bit down so it blends a little bit more. The opacity down, transparency. I think in After Effects it's, for me, I think it's kind of strange, because when you want to, in After Effects, we're in Photoshop here, but in After Effects, when you want to get the transparency of a layer, you have to click T on the keyboard as a shortcut to open transparency on that layer, but it's called opacity when it's open. So I think those are the little things I don't really like. Because either it's transparency or opacity, but it's just frustrating when those things aren't called the same thing. Maybe they have reasons for it, but I can't think of anything logical. Maybe it has something to do with the language, something I don't understand, because I do speak English not so bad, I think. But it's not like my complete native language. So I think I got this set up for the basics. Now I remember I have prepared some things here, so I'm actually going to take them. Why make things complicated, right? So scale those things up. I got my max configured differently just because I'm lazy. So scaling things, if you remember, in Photoshop there was for a long time you needed to hold shift to scale proportionally, but now they changed that, and now when you hold shift it scales unproportionally, or how you want to say that. And that's yeah, I have one computer I set it up because it annoyed me so bad, and on this computer I just didn't do it yet. So those are the struggles of a designer. Create clipping mask, and again this is another method, color balance. It's kind of hard getting into those details and telling you the exact methods of those things, but this kind of lets you manipulate like the most important parts, I guess. Again, it's so hard to explain because those things, you just don't think about them so much. Because when you work on those things every day with those things, but yeah. So again, create clipping mask. And I think we're coming to a good point here, actually. We don't want to overthink things because in the end we still have to adjust things and, you know, but just getting some random feeling canvas here. I think that's doing a good job. I'm always having in mind, as I said, to just keep this one a little bit more free from things. I'm actually going to lighten it up, and on this side we will have like the illustration situation like the whole drawing of the artist is going to be here. So yeah, we're working together with this artist, and he actually made those splashes. And I like to picture him making those things, because it's kind of crazy. But you know, who's not crazy these days? We're all kind of crazy. And if you weren't, you're crazy after COVID. So everything comes together. Crazy bunch of people. So now I have these colors in the back where I want to get a little more of this background, but still keep it kind of whitish. Just give it like a physical feel. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, but when you compare it to these, I still want kind of this roughness. It's kind of missing here. So what we're going to do is go to these thingies, backgrounds he sent us. They're kind of, look up these. We're kind of limited in how many backgrounds we have, but you know, there will be something to use. So you see, this is literally really random. Just selecting some things I might picture that suits what I have in mind, just dragging it in, scaling it up, and kind of making that background we want to have. Just getting this, yeah, dirt in perhaps. So I'm going to mask those edges again. If you're working with a low opacity or any opacity below 100, you will never fully get rid of everything, if you know what I mean. You kind of have to, like for example, I don't know if this is a good example, but setting this to kind of 19%, now clicking on it, you see it goes away a little bit, but you would really, now I click kind of 100 times, and yes, it's kind of gone, but in reality it's still there, because you didn't really put away everything or get rid of everything, if you know what I mean. So for the edges, I really would prefer to use an opacity of 100%, so we can make sure that those edges are really, really gone and not just look gone. Because when it comes to printing, this kind of accuracy, you will be really, really happy that you thought of those things, because those are exactly those things that just end up in a never-ending story, because printing it, then you see those imperfections, because printing colors are just completely different to screen colors. And yeah, so this one doesn't look too bad. I think I'm not so, I think that's okay. I'm going to make it a little bit darker, a little more color. There you go, something like that. Again, I don't want to disrupt this here, so what I'm going to do is add another color splash, or Kyle's wet blender. Let's look what he can do for us. So again, this file is pretty large. Normally I don't have this struggle, but you know, I'm streaming currently at very low frame rates. I hope this doesn't disrupt the video too much. Maybe my screen is too big. I don't know. If you have any tips on streaming while working on graphic intensive things, feel free to tell me. So, did you do something? I don't see anything. Normal. No pixels selected, so you didn't do anything. Why didn't you do anything? So there, that's what I wanted, kind of. See this effect it's doing. So don't worry, I'm going to get rid of a lot of this again. I just wanted this to so I'm just going to blend some of this. are going to bring this opacity down a bit. We still have those ugly edges, so what we're going to do is just mask. So there are 1,000 ways how you can do that, obviously. I'm just going to stick with my ways I do things. Well, my way is actually just some way. Just getting kind of this randomness inside here, so it blends into the background better. There you go. I took the opacity down. I feel like I can put it up again. Not too much. I'd like to smear this somewhat. Oh no, I didn't like that at all. Something like that. That looks randomly enough. I'm just going to take that whole layer, just put it a little bit down because I feel like this makes sense. And I'm going to take away a bit of this here. This just doesn't, I just like those splashes this one down here makes. There you go. I feel that's okay. Nothing too obvious. Taking it down a little bit because that's just my experience talking in my head. The more you edit things, the more extreme you kind of like to see things, and the next time you look at it you just wished you just pulled it down a little bit. So everything I'm doing, I'm trying to do not as extreme and not as less as I would intentionally feel, because mostly that's kind of like the perfect center point where, yeah. So I'm actually saving this one. And I'm going to try to do another one quite a bit faster, hopefully, because that really wasn't in a rush here. But I do have to get things done. So yeah, it's the 9th December. It's probably not how you would write the date, but that's how we do it here in Switzerland. So, one thing to notice here is you don't always need so many layers I had here. It just helped with the randomness, and yeah. So, I am literally starting off with these ones. I am going to take them, rotate them, put them down some way, and I'm going to flip them, something like that. Again, I already saved my new file, so I don't have to think about that. And now I'm just changing positions of those background elements here. We don't want to put away those guides, they are important for us. Scaling this one down. I don't want those green ones because we already used them and they're like visually very, very strong. So I don't want people to notice the repeating of these things. Repetition, repeating. Repertoire. So, where is this one? Here he is. This one is also pretty big on there. I like the texture it makes, but we're going to scale it down a little bit. And we're actually turning it. I'm always thinking of, the chances that you take the same element, just place it on the same point, are actually probably bigger than you think, because we people are really, really bad in randomizing things, like notoriously bad, because our brains they just hold on to everything that gives someone information, and even though we don't really realize that, even though we don't realize the amount that our brain impacts those kind of decisions, it's just inevitable. You can't, we're just incapable of making randomness. So that's very realistic to think about, not wanting to just think about sorry, I'm having some issues here. I don't know what's happening. There. With computer programs and similar things, it's way easier to make randomness, but still, those random things are sometimes based on real things, like trying to think about things like water flowing, or images and videos of real life random things, and sequencing some information out of those things actually help us to make randomized things. So some of those brushes are pretty awesome, but you want to be careful to not overdo it, because we people really, we notice repetition. Don't even think about using the same things over and over again. Just give it a little change your. I'm a little bit frustrated, to be honest, because I had those awesome brushes once. They're just gone. I'm going to actually to let my computer search for those, because I downloaded those brushes and they have to be somewhere. those are kind of those. I'm just going to open them. Okay, so I'm just going to import them. It's not working either. Nothing added. That's frustrating. Get more brushes, import brushes. Come on. So yeah, sometimes there are some dilemmas, and my computer is actually being a little bit slower because I'm streaming. How do you know? It's okay. We get through it. It's just the reality of a designer. That looks kind of better, but those are still not those I'm looking for. I want those other brushes, import brushes. Paint splash brushes, that's those the ones I want to import. There, here they are. So, re-imported, now I feel a little bit better working on these things, because you see those are literal paint brush splatters, so they really fit into the whole scene. And you see this soft line here, I'm just using those brushes, I can just get like the negative splash of these things. Now, again, be careful about repetitions. That's exactly what I talked about before. So I'm going to undo that. And now, changing the color to white on this mask, I can actually reintroduce like these backgrounds in form of a paint splatter. So I think that's pretty neat. Well, it's like a standard function of Photoshop, you know, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Just getting rid of that line up there, making it a little bit smaller so I can really get this one. Now I am actually going to move this one a little bit further up and doing something like this and this, because again we have to have some white space here for the text, otherwise it's going to be not readable. So yeah, that's actually probably what I'm going to end up with, something like that. I am going to take down the opacity a little bit because I think it's a little bit harsh. Reintroducing, excluding. There you go. Now this one I'm actually going to bring a little bit back here. Probably another brush here, something like that. So I want to break these soft edges here. And the same here. We didn't really touch this one. yet. Oh, taking this one in, making this blend, and again using our brushes to get these things gone away. So again, there are 1,000 ways to do that, these things. I just chose to work how I work, based on my experiences. Take this one down too. I am going to make this a little bit more orangey, kind of. Orangey. Or actually pretty, something in the middle, like something like that. But it's too green, I think. So I'm going to get this one up here. Something like that. Seems like something, right? I actually don't remember which one I chose to do this one. But there are like these details, this green thing down here. I want this to I don't want that people recognize the same splatter on different pages too much. It's okay when it repeats a little bit, but I just don't want it to be too obvious. Like for example, what I noticed right now is this blue thing here is actually this one, pretty obviously. So what I'm going to do is, because I don't want to get rid of it, but I do want to, when I find it, I do want to change the color so it doesn't feel that obvious anymore. So color balance. You see, this is like the case. Okay, this is kind of the middle tones probably, and I'm going to bring those bluish colors more into the yellow, onto the yellow side. And again here we have this other cyan position. We're going to take it further to the red side. I don't know if green is a suiting color for here. So yeah, that's kind of what that does, but I'm not really satisfied in what it's doing. So I'm just going to be radical and colorize the whole thing. And now I'm relatively free to choose what color I want for this. I want this to be, I don't really know. So you have quite a lot of control here. Just playing around with the saturation and the lightness of it. It's like too red for me right now. It immediately goes into green. But I actually want, yeah, something like this, something, yeah. Yellowish, orangey, that's what I'm going for here. Not too much, just a little bit. And there you go, I'm kind of happy with that. Maybe we can just take this one like somewhere else, just to give it some dynamics. Yeah, something like this. actually feel there's something missing here. So I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to align this to this line here. I feel like that's perfectly made for each other here. Yeah, that looks nice. Now, one other thing I want to do here, now I think that's too blue too, so I'm just going to copy this one and just play around here. Something like this, yes. And one other thing I want to do right now is just add like those imperfections. We have some of those. Let's see if I find it. Like here, this is like, I don't really know where he got it from, but this is like the one of those imperfections included in the files he sent us. I don't know if you can hear the church. You probably can. Sorry. You probably can, but just ignore it. I have to live with it. So imperfections. You see where I got that other one? It's kind of like this situation here. Also this hole, I really loved that hole. And yeah, I just getting a call, so I'm going to mute for a Sorry for that interruption. I just got a call from, let's say, a friend. We are having a situation with another company who thinks I wanted to copy them, but that's just absolutely not the case. My idea is kind of a community agency, but it's a big story. So this other agency thought we want to copy them, and they did some things, bureaucratic things that are not really nice. So yeah, we're in a little situation there with the naming of my maybe future company. Doesn't really exist yet. So yeah, pretty redundant, but yeah, that's what happened. And so yeah, that's kind of a important thing. I didn't want to miss that call. So back to imperfections. I'm looking at if I find some imperfections here I could use. But I'm not really pleased with what I see right now. Those are interesting. Let's put them in. Not all of them. Actually, I'm just going to take that one here. And we are going to do that. Wait, there's something happening I didn't want to happen. Create clipping mask. So always be aware of your layers. Don't forget how they're positioned and everything, because you really want to know what's happening. I really like what's happening right here with this one, because I just feel this brings a little more energy into this. I know this looks pretty random, but you know, it has to be random. So I'm putting it right there, and I want to get rid of some of those here. Something like that. Not like that. I am taking the opacity down because it is really extreme. And I actually want to make it a little brighter. But not the whole canvas, only this layer. See, that's what I kind of want. I want this to pop a little bit more, but I still want those edges. Now it's like red. I like it. So I am saving this. This is going to be the second one. Again, this is probably not like the biggest thing, most interesting thing to watch. And yeah, so I am ending this workflow here right now. I'm going to make this ready. Here we are, workspace, there we are. And now I'm just going to combine those. Oh no, I already sent those. Now I really just have to send these ones. So let's go to Safari. transfer. This is kind of like a WeTransfer, but for Swiss people. Sounds a little racist. But that's what it is. I don't know, sometimes it just feels safer to know that your files are not leaving the country, you know. And what I'm doing now is because we're uncomplicated, I'm going to center this via WhatsApp, so I'm just going to take this to another window because there's private stuff happening. I don't want you to see that. There you go. What? 28 hours. That's only because I'm streaming. Isn't that, that's crazy. Maybe when I switch this to just my camera, maybe this will help. I don't have 1.5 days to send files. Come on, that's not realistic. I have like a really fast connection. 17 hours, a little bit better. This just can't be right. Maybe I'll send this afterwards. Because this doesn't really make sense to wait this long. So I'm not really sure if my mouse just gave up, because I didn't notice any notification, but it wouldn't be the first time. This would happen. So I probably need to. Yeah, now everything is everything is happening at the same time. I think I need to recharge my mouse. This thing is still not loading. I got my trackpad connected. I'm checking out my schedule, what I want to do today. And yeah, I will. In the evening I will do some other things. I had some good meetings yesterday, so I can make some offers for some new projects. Sorry, I'm kind of distracted. just wanting to get things done here. But yeah, I think this is it for today. I will try to make another stream maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. I still have to find kind of my routine. Just for your information, probably next week I'm going to start working on my business full time, maybe. But yeah, one step at a time. I hope you enjoyed this kind of crazy live stream. It was kind of uncoordinated and stuff, but I got some things done. I have my new gimbal that arrived, so I'm going to test this out probably right now. But yeah, I hope to see you next time. I know this wasn't the most special thing you ever saw, but looking forward to make these kind of live streams with other content, with other things. I will have a new iMac, a MacBook Pro, probably next year because they can't deliver. So yeah, I think that was it for today. I hope you had some fun watching or listening me, and yeah, hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Whatever. Bye.